Ugh. Brandon Brooks ruptures his left Achilles. Likely out for the season. Um, no way of sugarcoating this, guys. Not fantastic news. Not in the slightest. I feel bad for the kid. This is probably not what he was expecting for 2020, clearly, but nonetheless, it's the reality. All right, y'all. Let's jump into today's topic. What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on, NFL world? How you doing, division rivals? This is Steven Hyder with Gate City Sports Channel, the sports channel where the cerebral NFL fan comes for about 10 minutes of daily content. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever it is you get around to watching this. Once again, guys, my name is Steven Hyder, and this is Gate City Sports Channel. All right, y'all, today's topic. Look, it sucks, man. Brandon Brooks is one of the best players in the league. If you don't believe me, just understand this about this young man. He was the highest graded guard in all of 2019. Okay? He was the second ranked guard in PFF, Pro Football Focus's top 50. Okay? And he was fifth. He was the fifth ranked player overall. The fifth ranked player overall on PFF's 2019's top 101 players. Fifth. One spot below Patrick Mahomes and one spot ahead of TJ Watt. That's how impactful of a player this is we just lost. So look, I don't want to sit here and make false statements and act like, hey, no big deal. Like losing Brandon Brooks, like you're not going to upgrade there. Like what we're looking for now is someone serviceable who can fit the scheme and can make this not into like a catastrophe for us. And, you know, it sucks because so far what we're looking at is a team that wants to be very smart about the way it spends its money, right? Because we know we're in a cap situation for 2021. I'm sorry, guys. We know we're in a cap situation for 2021. And we're looking to defer some of that cap space, right? That's one of the ways in which we're going to probably manage this cap issue in 2021 is by deferring some of 2020's cap into 2021. So losing your starting right guard, before in June, it's not, not the best feeling, not the best thing that can happen. There are positives and negatives to this. The positive is that we have now enough time to plan around it. The negative is, if you're looking at veteran options, it might get expensive. So let's start with the internal candidates, okay? Matt Pryor. I really like Matt Pryor, guys. I think Matt Pryor is a guy that he really didn't look good his first year or so in training camp. I mean, he to me looked like a waste of time. I'm not gonna lie. That's what my original interpretation was of the kid. That kid grew. I mean, the Matt Pryor that played in those Seattle games was a kid that was a bowling ball down in the trenches. He was just straight up moving everybody off the line of scrimmage. He has the physicality of a Brandon Brooks. I just don't know if he has that quick twitch explosiveness. I don't think he has the speed of Brandon Brooks. But the kid definitely showed to be an effective run blocking tool. I thought that Matt Pryor was one of those players last year when I turned film on him. I was really surprised by the progress that young man had made. And by no way am I trying to compare this kid to Brandon Brooks. But I will say this. You got to give props to the young man for putting in the time and effort to go from a guy that I thought was like, why waste their time with this kid to, I'm glad this kid's on the team because he's a good football player. You got your fourth round pick in Jack Driscoll, guys. This is a hard year to try to start a rookie on the offensive line. I'll have to defer to guys like Jaleel Williams and some of these other guys that are in our community that played down in the trenches. I'm a little unfamiliar with how long it takes to get a guy in the trenches up and running for those blocking schemes, making sure they're ready physically because, you got to be ready physically in the trenches. And then you have the knowledge around the blocking schemes. I'll have to defer to guys like that. So if you guys are watching, y'all let me know down below. I mean, for receivers, me personally, when I coach a receiver, I would say it would take me about 6 weeks to get a kid up and running. It would probably take don't get me wrong, about 12 weeks to get to a mastery level of what I want a kid to do. But within 6 weeks, they could easily get in and contribute if I had them for 6 weeks working with them. I don't know how that would apply, though, when you look down into the trenches. That's not, like, guys, I understand the game. I can break down film pretty well. But I'm not going to sit here and act like I have a lot of experience playing in the trenches because I don't. I would be interested in knowing how fast they could get, Jack Driscoll up. And it sucks because we don't even know we have in this kid, which we probably would have known if we had, rookie camp and things like that. So we're already behind the ball on some of these kids. We got two guys we protected last year. Nate Herbig, who, we really protected around the center position. This guy can easily play guard. Nate Herbig was kept on the roster because we didn't want him getting exposed to being picked up. And then later in the year, when Sua Opeta was about to be picked up by teams, we ended up promoting him to the active roster to shield him. So we got guys like Matt Pryor, Jack Driscoll, Nate Herbig, and Sua Opeta, who are internal candidates here. None of these guys have a ton of playing experience, obviously, because we're talking about two undrafted rookie free agents from 2019. We got one fourth-round pick from this, from the 2020 draft, and we got Matt Pryor, who at least has a handful of experience, a handful of snaps that we can say that were meaningful. The other guy that's kind of an outside the thinking, outside the wall here, outside the box, if you will, thought process is Luke Jurga. So Luke Jurga actually played 38 out of his 52 games at right guard. So he has experience playing right guard. My problem with Luke Jurga is I don't think he's built to play right guard in the Philadelphia Eagles system. You've got to be able to anchor and move some of those big three techniques out of the way. And I don't know that he's built like that, to be quite honest. Because let's be real, Matt Pryor and Brandon Brooks do an incredible job in that inside zone of clearing out the trash inside. And you've got to be able to do that. I'm not confident that kid can do it. But give the kid a shot. Give the kid a shot. He's got experience playing it at least. But I do think that guys like Luke Jurga and Nate Herbig are more destined to probably play backup center with some chance to really be a guard if you need them to. They wouldn't be my first options. All right. Eternal options. Love Matt Pryor. I think he's got a legit chance here. The question becomes, because we're trying to conserve some of our cap space, should we look outside? Should we look outside to bring in a veteran presence to compete alongside of Matt Pryor? So that way you got Matt Pryor either starting and a veteran behind them that can back up everything, or you got a veteran starting, you got Matt Pryor still there to back you up in the interior. I think either's a win-win. I'm not going to knock either, but I would like to really shorten the list of guys that are being thrown out there. When I look at this list of potential guys who can come in and play for us that are veterans, that are on the free agent market, I'm only interested in 4 guys. I'm not going to play around with this list. There's 4 guys I give a crap about bringing in here. Number 1 is Jason Peters, okay? Jason Peters has not played a lot of guard, okay? I'm not trying to say he has. The kid can play right guard. I got no doubt that Jason Peters can play right guard. He's expressed before in the past that towards the end of his career, he would not be opposed to moving inside the guard to prolong it. This would be his chance to prolong it and maybe even possibly retire as a Philadelphia Eagle. Jason Peters has the strength. He does have the quick the quick twitch muscle reacting, so he's fast off that line. I think Peters, when you put him inside, he's a different cat. I think he would be a much faster guy. Put him at left tackle, he's a little slower, but he's just so experienced. He's so knowledgeable about the position that he makes every move correctly. So it's even if he's a little slow off the line, he's seldomly getting beat. At least not one-on-one. I have seen him get caught a few times with some stunts and some other things. But at least one-on-one, we know Jason Peters does his job. Peters, I think, is a guy that has the adequate strength to anchor on an inside zone too. I would be interested in bringing Jason Peters back. I'm just unsure of what the cost would be there. Because we do have to keep in mind that we really do need to defer some of our 2020 cap space for 2021. The money's got to make sense here, and we might need to add another piece or two in addition to this offensive line. So, the money has to make sense. Number 2, look, Larry Warford is a guy I think makes sense here. Once again, we're going to talk about money. He's a little younger than some of the other options I think we're going to be talking about. He was drafted by Jim Schwartz, so there's a connection back to Philadelphia, right? The director of player personnel here in Philadelphia, Jeremiah Washburn, and then the defensive assistant coach here, Jeremiah Washburn, he was actually his position coach in Detroit. Look, Larry Warford was a 3-time Pro Bowler. But I will say this. There is a distinct difference in talent level between Larry Warford and Brandon Brooks. Larry Warford was the 30th out of 89th ranked, guard from PFF, guys. So, he's not that highly ranked, but he's serviceable, right? He's a guy in conjunction with Matt Pryor, makes it to where it's not a bleeding gap going on here. He's a guy I would have interest in, okay? Another guy I would have a lot of interest in, he's a little older, but he was rated very highly. This is a guy that's still drop off. He's not Brandon Brooks, but he's pretty good in his own right. And that's Ronald Leary. Ronald Leary was the 18th ranked guard from PFF last year, 18th out of 89. All right. He's got connections back to Philadelphia and Rich Scangarello. Rich Scangarello definitely coached this kid. I think he coached him not only in San Francisco, but I think he also coached the kid in Denver last year. So there is a connection. The kid would have familiarity with our scheme. He's at least an adequate player, if not actually pretty decent. The issue here is that he did get injured last year. He played in 12 games last year, got injured. I don't know where he's at in terms of his rehab with the injury, but I definitely think this is a player that's worth looking into. The last guy's on my list. This is the last player that I think is worth looking into as a veteran, guys, and I think pass on everybody else. I would personally pass on every other name. Just a personal preference here for me, guys. The last guy, Kyle Long. Chris Long's little brother. Look, when I look at Kyle Long, I know where this man stands in terms of the family. We know what that family's about, okay? We know this is a football family. We know that these are, look, man, these are guys that'll fit in the locker room. Kyle Long will fit in our locker room. Our locker room. My bad, guys. I like Kyle Long a lot. Physical guy. Very much like a Matt Pryor. This is a strong guy that's going to get down there and really try to get after people. I will say this. Major injury concerns with Kyle Long. As a matter of fact, I think he's only played in like 30 out of 64. Out of his last like 60-some games, 64 games, he's only played in like 30 of them. Me personally, even if you get 6 to 8 games out of Kyle Long with a guy like Matt Pryor there, or even if he doesn't beat out Matt Pryor, he's a veteran guy that he can do the job. I wouldn't be horrified if he has to come in and play. I think the kid would be pretty good. These are just my thoughts on it, guys. Look, Matt Pryor, Jack Driscoll, Nate Herbig, Sua Opeta, Luke Juriga, internal candidates. External candidates, the veteran free agents out there. Let's talk about bringing Jason Peters back, guys, and putting him at right guard. You got Kyle Long, you got Larry Warford, you got Ronald Leary. Those are the guys I would be interested in. I would add one of these vets, personally, to play along with Matt Pryor. These are just my thoughts on it, guys. This situation sucks, man. I didn't even want to make a video about this, guys, but it's just too big of a topic to just not even talk about. I had to come on and talk about it. It sucks, guys. Look, once we get more clarity, when we know what the Eagles are going to do in the direction, I'll start making some videos that talk about that right guard position. I'll focus in on it more. I'll show you guys a little bit more about the importance of the right guard position in the Philadelphia Eagles running system, what we do in terms of that inside zone. The right guard's seldomly going to pull, so, we don't have to worry about pulling guards per se. That's more of a Suamalu in that left guard kind of role. But I'll get into a little more of that as time goes on, y'all. All right, y'all, these are my thoughts. You already know I'm going to ask you. I want to know, what do you think? All right, y'all, leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. All right, man, you know how we end these videos. We do a little EAGLES. Sorry, guys, it's not good news today. It sucks, man. But I promise y'all, I'm going to be pumping out content this week for y'all, man. I'm going to be back on that grind. Every day, y'all going to get a video this week, guys. All right, y'all. Peace. I'm out here.